Look at a pristine blackwater lake surrounded by dense rainforest. The surface is perfectly still, reflecting the trees like a mirror. But beneath that reflection, a massive reservoir of lethal gas is slowly accumulating, waiting to silently wipe out the surrounding communities. Today, we are building a concrete 4-step community safety protocol to survive this exact threat. Grab a map of your local water sources because we have work to do. Surviving an invisible hazard requires a strict system. You cannot react to something you can't see. You have to plan for it well in advance. Step 1 is mapping the mechanics of the threat. This cross-section diagram of a deep blackwater lake reveals the origin. At the very bottom, ancient carbon and methane are continuously leaking from the geological bed into the water. Because the water depth is so extreme, the immense pressure acts like a physical lid. The gas doesn't bubble safely to the surface. It stays trapped and dissolved at the floor. The physical structure of the lake turns a slow, natural leak into a highly pressurized, massive storage tank of lethal gas. Step 2 is identifying hazard zones using real-world precedents. We can see exactly how this develops in places like the Democratic Republic of the Congo. To access fresh water and fish, vulnerable populations build their homes directly against the shores of these volatile dark water lakes. Living on that shoreline puts them at risk of a specific natural disaster known as a limnic eruption. A limnic eruption happens when that heavy, deep water lid finally fails. The trapped, highly pressurized dissolved gas suddenly explodes upward through the surface. As the gas releases, it creates a massive, invisible cloud that rapidly rolls over the shoreline, suffocating the surrounding area in minutes. Because a limnic eruption produces no visual warning and carries no distinct smell, human senses are useless against it. That brings us to step 3, monitoring the environmental triggers so you know exactly when to activate your alarms. This flowchart illustrates the self-reinforcing feedback loop that causes the lid to fail. It starts with a climate shift. As the environment changes, the surface water warms, causing the lake's distinct temperature layers to mix. That thermal mixing disrupts the heavy pressure lid holding the bottom layer in place. The trapped gases are released into the atmosphere. Once in the air, the new methane and carbon dioxide trap more heat. That warms the lake further, triggering an even larger gas release. The cycle accelerates invisibly. Monitoring local water temperature and climate data is your only reliable early warning system. Step 4 is drafting our community safety protocol. To mitigate this specific disaster, we need 3 non-negotiable rules. Rule 1. Install gas sensors. Because methane and carbon dioxide are completely invisible and odorless, continuous electronic monitoring along the shore is mandatory. Rule 2. Designate high-ground evacuation routes. You must strictly avoid basements or low-lying areas during an alert. This split-screen diagram shows the physics behind Rule 2. Carbon dioxide is heavier than air. The lethal cloud will sink and pool into valleys, so residents must climb a steep hill to get above the gas line. Rule 3. Establish a deafening audio alarm system. The gas release is totally silent, so the warning mechanism must be aggressively loud to wake sleeping residents. This 3-part protocol physically counters a threat that is invisible, silent, and heavier than air. Look at our completed community safety protocol. With active sensors, high ground routes, and loud audio alarms mapped to your hazard zones, you have a functional defense. You now understand the mechanical buildup of deep water gas, the triggers of a limnic eruption, and how to protect a town from the fallout. Take this localized plan and share it with your community leaders. You can transition your shoreline from passive vulnerability to active readiness. To continue decoding the mechanics of natural disasters so you can survive them, hit subscribe.